Patrick Mahomes is still being tossed around as if he is the GOAT. Okay, now hear me out here, Smitty. Hear me out. Please make it make sense. Okay, I want you to make it make sense. Please, you novice fan queendom fanboys. I want you to make it make sense. He has had one of the worst seasons of his professional career. He has had less wide receiver talent around him. Agree, Big Smitty?
Agreed.
He has a top 5 defense, a Hall of Fame tight end, and yet they are back in the AFC Championship game for a 6th season in a row. Make it make sense, please, Big Smitty. Remember, Big Smitty, halfway through this season, he had no Tyreek Hill. His queendom fan bases were calling out for everybody to get him talent. There's no talent around him. It's going to be, we're bad. He's having a bad season, and blah, blah, blah. Nobody can catch the ball, Big Smitty. We dropping the football. We're offside. Then Taylor Swift comes in, and she's affecting Travis Kelce, and Travis Kelce's got a gut on him, and he's getting fat. Yet, Big Smitty, here we are again. He's back, people, for a 6th time in a row. Make it make sense. Michael Vick had a very similar attack on his career after jail. After he did his time, he was a washed-up nobody. Nobody would pay him. Remember that, Big Smitty?
I remember that.
You remember that?
I remember that.
I think Big Smitty trying to figure out where I'm going.
I have no idea where you're going.
Make it make sense. Mahomes is the GOAT, but y'all said all this other shit that needed to happen because he wasn't going to be the GOAT, because he probably wouldn't win this year, because he was going to struggle. He had no wideouts. He had no Tyreek Hill, blah, blah, blah. Isaiah plays. Smart person, Isaiah. You're figuring it out. Make it make sense. Maybe it's fucking Andy Reid. Maybe that's the reason why they're in a 6-1 in a row, people. Maybe that's why. If we do the common attachment of common narratives and common denominators, maybe Andy Reid is the fucking reason that we don't have any receivers. We drop all the balls, and yet we're back. Patrick Mahomes had his worst season, and yet we're back. But I haven't heard anybody say Andy Reid at all. Everything's Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT. Maybe, just maybe, when you throw for 180 yards in a Super Bowl and then 2 touchdowns the other night to win the game, 200 yards basically he threw for. Let's not act like he threw for 480, 200 yards. Maybe
looked good.
The GOAT is Andy fucking Reid. Can we make it make sense, please, people? Why do we always jump over the common denominator of all these things on why Alex Smith had a great career underneath who? Andy Reid. He didn't really have a great career under anybody else. Why did so many quarterbacks such as Donovan McNabb and all these other people have their best career stats under Andy Reid? Why did Jeff Garcia leave the Niners and come on over to the Philadelphia Eagles and have his best career ever? Why did A.J. Feely, a nobody, come over and have a fucking Pro Bowl type of season under Andy Reid? Make it make sense, but we fucking salivate, dog. It's like a AE eating some caviar over here. Like, these motherfuckers is salivating over one person, and its name is Patty Mahomes because the media wants it to be. Andy Reid gets yet zero fucking credit. Zero, Smitty. And people say, well, why didn't he win a Super Bowl with Donovan McNabb? Do you want to compare the rosters and the defenses and the talent around them for the first 5 seasons? Please do, because I've done it. I can show you film and I can break it down. So please do. Other than Patrick Mahomes, other than Travis Kelce, let's just discuss it. Go down the list. You had a T.O. for one season in Philly at wide receiver. Basically, that was the one outside guy. But listen, I'm going to watch that. I'm going to watch that with Travis Kelce.
I hear you.
I'm just saying, what do you got? You got one guy. You had one guy in Philly.
Right.
At one point, you had 2 Hall of Famers in Kansas City with Tyreek Hill for his first 4 years and Kelce. Philly never had 2. Frisco never had 2 when Jeff Garcia was there. He had T.O. And who?
In Frisco? Jerry
Stokes?
Oh, you mean Young? Oh,
I'm just trying to figure out. Name me all the guys, if we want to completely compare rosters on why guys didn't win versus a horrific AFC West run for the last 6 years. Let's just be honest. The AFC West is as garbage as the AFC East was during Tom Brady's run.
Right.
Please tell me. I want you to make it make sense on why only one person gets credit. And Andy Reid just sitting there with a frozen beard, just getting it done over and over. Then it was EB. EB left, and we're struggling, and it's EB because he left. You're back again in a 6th AFC title game. EB's looking for a job, and we're sitting here still avoiding the common denominator of fucking Andy Reid. I'm trying to figure this shit out. I just want y'all to make it make sense. Please do. Go ahead, Big Smitty, before we move into the script, because this shit is crazy to me, and I just don't get it.
That was your real rant right there. That was beautiful. Listen, I mean, I think I can't make it make sense. I think Andy Reid deserves a ton of credit. Andy Reid is an all-time great coach. Some people actually do think he might end up going down as the GOAT, even over Belichick. I've been hearing that getting thrown out now. I think him and Mahomes deserve equal amount of credit because at the end of the day, you said it before as well on this show, a coach can draw up the greatest play of all time, but the player still got to go out there and do it at the end of the day. So, yes, Andy Reid is scheming his ass off. He's figuring things out. This is his probably worst squad he's had with the Chiefs, since he's been there, or at least since Mahomes has been like the starter, and they still are in the exact same place. So you have to give Andy Reid an immense amount of credit for figuring it out and motivating that team in whatever way he had to do to get them feeling good and playing good. Kelce is back playing at a very high level. There was points in the season where he was kind of struggling, dropping passes. He looked real good last week. Mahomes, I thought, looked really efficient, really good last week. You say he only threw for 200-something yards, yeah, but it was a good 200-something yards. Like the way the game went, he looked confident. He was efficient. Receivers were catching passes, and I just have to give credit to the leader in Andy Reid. But again, I don't want to live in a place where because we're giving one person credit, we have to take away credit from the other person. Like, yeah, Andy Reid's that guy. That doesn't belittle what Patrick Mahomes is doing. And yeah, I think Patrick Mahomes is that guy. Doesn't take away from what Andy Reid is doing. I think they're both necessary for this thing to move forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Mahomes is not there, they're not having this same amount of success. And if Andy Reid's not there, I don't feel confident that the Chiefs will have the same level of success. Andy Reid has never won a Super Bowl prior to Patrick Mahomes. So we can say we can talk about NFC championships he went to. We can talk about going to a Super Bowl with McNabb. We can talk about he didn't have talent. We can talk about all the different excuses. The facts are he's never won a Super Bowl outside of Patrick Mahomes. So we cannot belittle the greatness of Mahomes and what he means to that city, that team, and what he means to Andy Reid. The same thing goes for Mahomes. To this point, Mahomes has never won a Super Bowl without Andy Reid. Now, I'm sure he'll have some time because I do think at some point Andy Reid will retire and Mahomes' career will still be going on, and we shall see what happens. But until then, these guys, they need each other. It's peanut butter and jelly. It's sugar and Kool-Aid. They need each other right now. They're both great. I don't think one belittles the other. And the reason
if that argument you just made was for a Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, then I think it would be more valid because Brady left and won one without Bill Belichick.
Right. We have
Mahomes hasn't won a Super Bowl without Andy Reid either.
I just said that though, and I just said that.
Well, you said Andy Reid hadn't won a Super Bowl without Mahomes.
I said both. I said that, and then I also right after that I said Mahomes hasn't won without Andy Reid. I said, but I do think Andy Reid will retire at some point, and Mahomes will still be playing, so we'll have the opportunity to see if he can do that at that point. But until then, they both need each other right now. And the reason why people call you a hater, JB, is because you always find an angle to take away from Mahomes. I'm not a Chiefs fan at all. They don't like me either. But I try to still like give credit when credit is due. I have yet to hear you come on here and just be like, you know what? I ain't gonna lie, man. Patrick Mahomes, he played a really good ass game last week. Played well in the system, no mistakes, made some good throws. Like it's always something. It's always, hold on, we talking Mahomes. What about Reid or what? That's why people call you a hater. Yeah, you don't use the word hate. You never said I hate Mahomes. But when your energy about somebody, Mahomes, Lamar, is always tailored or pointed in a direction of negative or pointing them down because they didn't throw a certain way or they didn't read a kid. It's always that. It's never just come on the show. You know what? Like Matthew Stafford, you're a fan of Matthew Stafford. He can make mistakes, and you will come on here and you will find a way to make sure you're praising Matthew Stafford on how great he is. Mahomes will go out here and throw 5 touchdowns, no picks, and you're going to find something in some way to say why this motherfucker's not good. So and that's why they call you a hater.
Why is that? You mentioned Stafford, you mentioned Mahomes. Why is that? If Stafford was limited and did certain things like which I call gimmicky, then I would be saying those things. I'd be using that. I'm not changing my opinion for soft society to adhere to their pussy rules. I'm not going to agree with all these soft pussies from the chat to Twitter to Instagram because they don't know what I know. Let's just be quite clear about it. I have a resume. Let's break it down real quick. 28 guys in the NFL, 10 NFL first rounders, 3 NFL QBs. I've played in the NFL on practice squads, NFL Europe, arena football. So I got to check playing the game. I am still a 1%er, contrary to belief. I'm supposed to adhere and bow down and say, you're right, people that don't know any fucking thing about anything. I'm supposed to do that. If I don't, I'm a hater. No, Stafford can do everything that Mahomes can do plus more. So if he were to go out and throw a shovel pass for a touchdown to win the game, I'm going to bring it up and say, hey, great scheme. Just nobody thought of it. Nobody thought Stafford was going to drop back and shovel the ball. But when someone does that as their main course meal, and that is what they do on a daily basis, and 50% of the balls are thrown behind the line of scrimmage. Now, to his effect, to his credit, he didn't do that the other night. He actually threw the ball down the field, even though it was only 200 yards. He made additive plays to throw the ball down the field.
You just did?
Josh Allen, however, had 50% of his balls behind the line of scrimmage the other night. To make my whole point round, just because mediocrity is your new excellence does not mean that I'm going to accept it, Tommy. I'm not accepting the fact that NFL quarterback plays at all fucking time low just because you are. Not you, Smitty, in totality, but everybody's accepted the greatness of so-called Mahomes, the greatness of so-called Josh Allen. I think mediocrity is the new excellence. I believe that we have hit a point to where we see a 24 touchdown throwing Lamar Jackson and are calling that he is the undisputed MVP. I think it's mediocrity at its finest. I'm not changing my stance. I'm not changing my viewpoints. If you think I'm a hater because I think 24 touchdowns is not worthy of an MVP, then so be it. Call me a hater. And then it's going to be the black quarterback JB don't like. Really?
Chat.
I don't like the black quarterback. But I've sat here and just dissected every garbage-ass white quarterback we could think of. From Derek Carr to Baker Mayfield, stop it. So I'm going to always come in here and tell you what this guy can do and what this guy can do. But I'm not changing my fucking stance just because the America is mid, as y'all say. Y'all mid now. You accept it. I don't. Sorry. So I will die a hater, and then you will die a fucking dick rider. That is what you guys will die as, because you literally don't know what you don't know. But you assume to know what you don't know, which makes you even a bigger fucking fool.
But it's not just random people on Twitter who thinks Mahomes is great. It's us other greats who think they're great. But Brady thinks Mahomes is great. Brady, like the GOAT, thinks he's great. So, like,
of course.
So I'm saying these are other guys who have the same credentials or even possibly more than you, who also thinks opposite of you. So it's not like because someone thinks he's great doesn't mean you're a dick rider. I don't even like the Chiefs, but Mahomes is like that. Like, it's not some accident that the motherfuckers is 6 times in a row. JB, come on now, like,
you're making my point for me.
I'm just saying, like, come on, like,
I'm trying to figure out what you missed what all the shit I just said you missed. Not you, but everybody. And then you just missed what I said as well. But with the 6 times in a row statement, and with what other pros are thinking of him and saying of him, and Tom Brady thinks he's great. Why does Tom Brady think he's great? Tom Brady's also come out and said he's great because of what? A mediocre NFL who can't hit the quarterback anymore, who's adjusted the rule changes for the receiver to not be hit over the middle, can't get rerouted. You just saw a game-changing flag thrown to save the Chiefs on a PI throw that wasn't PI. So tell me that why Patrick Mahomes is being called the GOAT by GOATs like Tom Brady.
And always
no, mediocrity is the new excellence.
Fucking Tuck rule is what made Brady. It got his shit started. So I don't want to hear nothing about no rules. That's been like that. It's been bad calls. Don't roll your eyes. That was a horrible call. That's a fact.
We're talking about a call versus a rule. Tom Brady still got hit in the chin, bro.
I hear you, man, but I can't, because if this is the argument that you're going to use,
I just want to know why I'm the one that's on the pedestal as being the hater, and all of you are legitimate, credible.
No, I've been a hater on Kansas City multiple times.
I'm just saying, yeah. I'm called the hater, but everybody else is full credible. And these are motherfuckers that work at Walmart who's never played the game ever, who's never coached, who hasn't sent 28 guys to the league, who hasn't sent who didn't play, but they're credible. I'm the hater. Let me make that make sense. Please, make it make sense for me. I'm going to wait.
The reason is, JB, you never come on here and just be like, after a week of great football from somebody, and be like, you know what? I don't like Mahomes. I don't like the Chiefs. But I have to tip my cap. The guy
have I not done that?
No, since I've been on the show, no.
Yes, I have. Wait up, time out. You're mistaken. I don't call you a liar because I know you would say it if you remembered. I've been on the show and said, this guy is number 1 on my QB list.
Yeah, you said that.
Several times because of what reason? He wins. I have literally said it. We have graphics made of me having Mahomes as number 1, but people forget that so quickly.
No, I didn't forget that. You are right. But I'm saying I feel very confident that if we could like pull those whole fucking 10-minute block or 5-minute block conversations, that you will start off saying he is my number 1 because he wins. But and then after the but, it's like a whole bunch of stuff of why.
Well, how is that a hater? We've done that with everybody forever. We've done that with Joe Montana and Steve Young. Steve Young won, but he inherited Joe Montana's roster. Like, come on, man. We've been doing this forever, but I'm the hater because you don't like me cussing, homie. Keep it 100. But pussies are soft. They're soft now out here, Smitty. They don't like me already. It's already a preconceived notion that they don't like me. So anything I say is hate. But we go back in time, and if we want to listen to great analysts speak, they've literally done what I'm doing now verbatim, and they're considered credible.
True. I guess what I'm saying, I'm not, first of all, just for clarity, I'm not saying you're not credible. I guess what I'm saying is, there are certain players, even myself, like for somebody could call me a Daniel Jones hater because from the beginning I said I ain't like him. I never give him credit. You could call me a Lamar Jackson fan because I typically steer positive with Lamar Jackson. Doesn't mean I never criticize him, but I usually find a way to steer positive. I will admit that. You typically steer positive with, like, again, a Matthew Stafford, a Brady, any of the old school quarterbacks, the traditional 5-set drop back. Mahomes, if we're just being honest, you typically, even when you give a compliment, it's like, I know for a fact after that compliment, there's coming some negatives coming after that. I have yet to this year.
Hating on, you say hate. I don't call it hate. I call it truth. On Josh Allen or Baker Mayfield or Derek Carr or Justin Herbert or Aaron Rodgers, calling him overrated because he can't beat the Niners when it counts. Why don't I get hate for that? I'm curious. I'm just waiting.
Because I think for those other quarterbacks, like even Aaron Rodgers, for example, he gets both. Like you'll say that he's overrated, but then you'll say he's best ball spinner of all time and he's great. It's like, I don't know what I'm gonna give Aaron Rodgers every day. Like there's some shows you come in here and he's got nothing. You've been on his side with everything. None of that. So it's like, okay, Aaron Rodgers kind of like 50-50. With Patrick Mahomes, the fans come to this show. When we have a Patrick Mahomes thumbnail, Chiefs Queendom, they know they coming to this show because you're about to give him hell. You're about to have on your Chiefs Queendom t-shirt. You're about to talk shit against the Chiefs. They know that. When they come to the show, they know I'm about to praise Lamar. They know that. We have our things. We know that. So I'm saying it's not by accident that people, like the fans, they're looking for that. It's the reason why the Chiefs fans come at you. It's not like they're just doing it for shits and giggles. You do go at Mahomes. I'm not even saying you're wrong.
Here's the reason, though. Like, people get confused. Even one of my boys, who's a coach, college coach, comes on Twitter yesterday and was like, JB, I love you, but this guy's been to 6 in a row, blah, blah, blah. So, and we go back and forth on Twitter, right? And he'll be at the Super Bowl party. He's a good dude. The cold part is, like, we can't discuss or break down facts anymore in today's world and society with social media, because you are automatically a hater if you do not agree with the common narrative that's that's trending on Twitter or whatever. If you go against that, you are the automatic hated one. Let's just keep it real. Whether it's a blue or red thing in politics, a right or left thing in politics, whether it's a climate change guy agreeing to non-climate change guy, whatever is trending, you go against it. You are the hater. Then they'll use negative. Then they'll start using racial connotation, and you're a sexual deviant, and you're sexist, and everything will go towards anything that you disagree with. And that's just the truth. And I'm here for it. I love it. It makes my dick rock. I'm just being real with you. I fucking love it. Because I'm going to die with my ass up so y'all can kiss it. That is the fact of it. I'm not a yes man, homie, and I'm not going to play the victim. Motherfuckers want to be yes men, play the victim, do all these other things because their fucking narrative isn't being pushed. I'm not that guy. So whether this show gets canceled, whether we go off into the sunset, or whether this thing blows up, it's going to be because we're real and we're the realest one on this planet Earth. Smitty's ready to break out of a cocoon because he's like, it's cracking right now. He wants out so bad, but he works for certain people. He has to wait. So I think Smitty's going to do so. He's going to still have his fucking beliefs and his takes, which makes a human and makes this show unique, because that's why everybody loves this show, because we don't have to agree. I don't want Smitty to agree either. But if he changes my mind, then so be it. I will tell you he did. And if I change his mind, so be it. He'll say it. But a lot of people won't do it. They'll fucking sit there and say, damn, Smitty was right, but I'm not going to admit it. And they'll fight it all day long on social media. Like, just keep it real. They will fight that shit all day long, even though personally they'll say, damn, Smitty was right. JB's right. That motherfucker is right, but I can't say he's right because Twitter's trending and saying ESPN said Mahomes is the GOAT. Why hasn't ESPN mentioned Andy Reid one fucking time? I'm just waiting. I haven't heard Andy Reid being mentioned one time on ESPN as the guy that's getting this thing done, the guy that's creating an offense that's conducive to Patrick Mahomes to have no wide receivers who have balls dropped at an all-time high this year. Why is this not being mentioned? Why do they have a top 5 defense? Why are the Chiefs the only team in the NFL this year that has scored more points in the second half versus allowing less points in the second half than any other team in the NFL. Is that fucking Patrick Mahomes? Or is that Andy Reid making some fucking adjustments in the halftime? But nobody wants to talk about it because you are fantasy football fans. You want Mahomes to get you 50 fantasy points and then he's the greatest ever. But no one talks about Andy Reid making all these fucking decisions in the back room that's allowing fucking counter to be spilled in the second half, and that Buffalo didn't counter it. And instead of running the same fucking play on offense, how about you pull the tackle and the guard this time, Buffalo? Because Kansas City just spilled everything to the alley. And guess what you did in the second half, Buffalo? You ran the football for 30 yards. But nobody's talking about that. Guess who won? Patrick Mahomes. Really? Did Patrick Mahomes spill the fucking alley the other day and take on the fucking tight end floater and crash everything inside and stop the run game? Or did fucking Andy Reid and the DC make some goddamn coaching decisions like they've done all season long with a mid-ass roster? But we don't want to talk about that on ESPN with Dan Orlovsky and fucking Ryan Clark. We're only going to talk about fucking Josh Allen choking. How about you start giving homage to the motherfuckers that actually have to deal with your bullshit drama with prima donna overpaid mid players? And how about you start giving those guys pay homage to those guys like Andy Reid? I haven't seen him mentioned one time on mainstream media yet because it doesn't get clicks and likes. The only thing the only thing Andy Reid's trending on is a frozen beard, a frozen mustache. That's the only thing we talked about Andy Reid. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, you're killing me with this drama. And you wonder why when Andy Reid has a bad year, guess what? He'll be the first guy mentioned to be fired.
I'm with you. And I ain't arguing.
You can't tell me, Smitty, that the Queendom fan base, because I know for a fucking this happened. When Andy Reid's son almost killed a dude before the Super Bowl on a DUI case, and they lost to the Tampa Bay Bucks and got blown out in that Super Bowl, he was fucking trending by the Queendom fan base to get rid of him, fire him. He can't manage his sons. He's had 2 major problems with 2 different sons, blah, blah, blah. Then they get blown out. And now what? Now what? I don't see any of that. But when I go on a Kansas City radio show and tell the truth, these motherfuckers hang up on me. Because the truth hurts these soft pussies, man. And they want yes men. Yes, yes, yes. That's not me. I'm not going to agree to a mediocre NFL. I'm not going to agree to him being the guy just because that's what everyone wants me to say so they can say I'm not a hater.